Hey everybody, it's Melissa here, the Live Your Passion Accelerated Personal Mastery Mentor. And today's topic is all about how to have faith in trying times. I have made this very special video for the main reason that after talking to a slew of new prospects, new recruits, new team members, and new mentees in my mentoring company, it seems as though many of the people that I'm seeing who normally have high faith in trying times are experiencing some low times. And so I thought I'd create a video that would really help all of us unite and really understand a couple of core principles that will always get you back on track and get you back into living passionately and purposefully. So with that being said, I want to actually talk a little bit first about defining what faith really means to me and how that can help you define what faith means to you, and then jump into three main tips for you to take away today. Okay, so when I talk about faith, I'm not just talking about your spiritual affluence or your spiritual orientation. I'm talking about really and truly the belief that you have in the life that you're living and the belief that you have that you're going to succeed. And having faith in that can often become shaky depending on what it is you're paying attention to, and depending on who it is you're talking to, and depending on what it is that you're actually taking action on in your life. Okay, so I myself am a serial entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur for the last 11 years. And recently I've actually had to create something called a resume. And it was interesting because one of my clients had requested it for a submission for a consulting job. And in that in itself, actually, it made me laugh because I said, oh my gosh, I haven't made a resume in 8.5 years. Now, in that time, I'm normally somebody who has a lot of confidence. It was really interesting to see my confidence plummet when I was asked to create something that I haven't created in a very long time. So I'm saying this because that's a very small little thing, having to create a resume, for example. But in my experience, I haven't had to make one in 8.5 years, and so my confidence went down. And as soon as my confidence went down, I was getting nervous. I was becoming a little fearful on the inside. I was finding myself procrastinating and sort of waiting a little bit, trying to figure out the exact perfect way to go about executing this resume creation. And with that being said, I said to myself, oh my gosh, Melissa, you are an expert writer. You do this all the time. You create messages all the time. Making a resume is no different. In fact, all you're doing is summarizing your experience. But it was the idea that I hadn't made a resume in a long time that brought my I guess confidence level down. And how this relates to having faith, it was interesting because in that moment, I threw faith out the door, I threw my confidence out the door, and I automatically found myself seeping into a little bit of a fear state. And I reached out right away because I noticed that feeling. I noticed that I was procrastinating. I knew I had to create this document, but I wasn't doing it. That was my signal to myself saying, okay, it's time to reach out for some help. And I called upon a few of my expert friends who are actually career coaches and counselors and whatnot. And I said, I have to make this resume. Could you give me a hand? And I also reached out to my boyfriend as well for his assistance. And that actually automatically started to raise my confidence because through the reach out for help, I was able to actually get a reframing and a perspective shift as to what it is that I was actually creating. So now it's no longer this document that's called a resume. It's actually something that I've done before, but it's just under a different name. I've created different documents where I was summarizing my work, and it wasn't called a resume. It was maybe called a year at a glance, or some kind of a snapshot, for a LinkedIn profile, or all these different things. And suddenly I realized that it was just the word resume, and fearing myself into saying, oh wow, it's been 8.5 years. What if I mess up? What if they're not gonna like what I have to offer just because it was called something else that I wasn't used to calling? So that's just one example, a real life example that just happened to me this week. And I also have been having a lot of very in-depth conversations with my clients, and a lot of them are saying that things are hard right now. There are opportunities that are few and far between, and just different things where they're struggling, and people are really coming to me and asking, how is that I can raise my confidence level? How can I have faith? How can I rely on my spirituality at this point in time in my life? I'm having a hard time. And what I've realized is that regardless of the persons that I was speaking to, whether they are my mentees or my team members or my fellow coaches, I've come up with 3 main points that will really help you shift your own perspective. And it's also the procedure that I put myself through when I realized that I was getting fear-stricken with having to create this resume. Why does this all matter? It matters because when we call trying times, what we really mean is that sometimes it's very easy to get lost in what other people say is going on in the world. But the reality and the truth is that you actually aren't living someone else's reality. You're only living your own reality. And you only can really see things from your perspective. And so in order to have a powerful shift, we need to actually create some shifting and perspective changes for you. So the top 3 things that I want to share with you today about having how to have faith in trying times is, first of all, define what faith means to you. Okay, so I gave you a little bit of a story. I want to tell you what faith means to me. Faith just means that you have high belief in the unforeseeable, in the unseen, the unknown, where you're really just saying, you know, your belief is much stronger than any fear that you have inside of you. So that could be belief in yourself, belief in opportunity, belief in whatever business adventure it is that you're in. But it's really just saying that the belief in your own vision of what's possible is a lot higher than the fear of it not coming to fruition. So define what faith means to you, but that's just my idea of what that means. The first of 3 tips I would say is, number 1, increase your self-awareness. Number 2, account for your gratitudes. And number 3, shift your focus on what's available to you right here and right now. So number 1, just a couple points, increasing your self-awareness. This is something that if you don't take time to recognize when you start feeling or noticing your results changing, your self-awareness is pretty much non-existent if you don't take that time to notice these things. So what that really means is taking time to actually look at, maybe at the end of each day, right? At the end of each day, you're saying to yourself, what really happened today? Right? So many of us can automatically go into the day-to-day grind and forget that we can make changes every day. We forget that we have personal power. So increasing your self-awareness allows you to open up and assess and evaluate where you truly are. All right. Then from that second point, after you increase your self-awareness, the second part you're going to do is account for your gratitudes. And what does that really mean? You know, I hear that a lot too. Gratitude is a huge buzzword these days, but what I think that really means is really accounting for what it is that you are thankful for, what it is that is actually going right in your life. Sometimes when we are in trying times, where is our focus? What are we constantly talking about inside of our own internal banter? We're not talking about things that we're grateful for. We're actually talking about things that are missing or things that we're lacking or things that we're scared about. And so if you want an immediate shift in the way that you're feeling so that you can actually increase your self-awareness, make a list of what it is that you're thankful for and grateful for. And then number 3, shifting your focus on what's available to you right now. Another reason why people lose their faith, lose their belief in whatever it is that they're pursuing, whether it's a dream or whether it's their own self-belief and raising their own self-confidence. But in any event, whenever you're finding yourself losing faith, the third thing is that we've really got to shift your focus on what's available right here and right now. When we pan out too far into the future, things can seem really scary because it is unknown. It's the future. But what we forget sometimes is that the future is created right here and right now. You know, I could say in 60 seconds from now, this is what I'm going to be feeling. I'm going to feel happy in 60 seconds. And as soon as I count 60 seconds, I'm already in the future that I was just talking about. And so if you want to make a shift for the future, if you really want to have some personal power coming back to you, really increase your faith in trying times, then we're going to have to get you to shift your focus on what's available to you right here and right now. Now, when you focus on the gratitudes in step 2, suddenly you're going to start feeling differently. And then on the third account, you're going to start wanting to say, hey, you know what? It's time for me to shift my focus. It's time for me to say, this is what I'm grateful for. I'm thankful for that. What can I do right here and right now? Now, this was just a short little video. I'm going to expand on this some more. I'm going to share this on my social media outlets, and I really want your feedback. Okay, this is an open conversation. It's a hot topic right now, and for me, I want to know what it is that you think. So my passion people, I'm wishing you an awesome Friday. For those of us who are in Canada, happy Thanksgiving. I wish you much love to you and your loved ones, and have a fantastic time. And don't eat too much turkey, all right? Talk to you soon.